Meeting called to order by Mrs. Ahmed, Superintendent of Schools, at 6 o'clock. Roll call of members: Salah Hadwan,
Present.
Dejavan Hall,
Present.
Murtada Abeid,
Present.
Regan Watson, absent, Jihan Ayash,
Here.
Abdel Malik Al Jahim,
Present.
Victor Ferris, absent. Thank you. So at this point, the organizational meeting, as a superintendent, I'm appointed for this portion. And at this time, I would like to open the floor for any nominations for board president for the year of
I'd like to-
2024.
I'd like to nominate Johan.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. So resolution number 1, election of board president.
Do we have any other nominations?
Do we have any other nominations before we close? Board president nomination? Okay. Resolution number 1, election of board president, motion by
Hadwan.
Adwan,
Second
seconded
Adwan.
by Call. Resolve that Jihan Ayash is elected to the office of president for the year of, for the Board of Education for 2024. Roll call: Salah Hadwan,
Aye.
Dejavan Hall,
Aye.
Murtada Abeid,
Aye.
Jihan
Aye.
Ayash, Abdel Malik Al Jahim.
Aye.
Okay, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I would like to open the floor for nominations for the office of vice president.
I'd like to nominate Salah Hadwan.
Are there any other nominations for vice president for the year 2024? Okay, nominations are closed. Resolution number 2, election of board vice president.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ayash, second by Jahim. Resolve that Salah Hadwan is elected to the office of Vice President of the Board of Education for 2025. Roll call.
24.
2024. Roll call: Salah Hadwan,
Aye.
Dejavan Hall,
Aye.
Murtada Abeid,
Aye.
Jihan Ayash,
Aye.
Abdel Malik Al Jahim.
Aye.
Okay, and so motion passes. Congratulations, Salah Hadwan. The floor is now open for nominations for the treasurer. Are there any
I'd like to
nominations?
nominate Mr. Al Jahim.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Mrs. Hall.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. We'll begin with,
No, you asked them if they accept that. If there's two.
okay, so let's begin with trustee Jahim. Do you accept the nomination?
I accept.
Okay, so then now we'll start the election of board treasurer. Motion,
Hadwan.
okay,
I'll second.
Ayash. Okay, do we have roll call?
Yeah,
No,
but
just
read
the
it out
resolve.
loud.
Okay. I'm wondering if we do a roll call first.
Yeah, we do a roll call.
Okay, so,
motion
okay,
by
I
Hadwan.
see,
Yeah.
I see. So resolve that trustee Al Jahim is elected to the office of treasurer for the Board of Education for 2025. Roll call: Salah Hadwan,
Aye.
Dejavan Hall,
Aye.
Murtada Abeid,
Aye.
Jihan Ayash,
Aye.
Abdel Malik Al Jahim.
Aye.
Okay, well, congratulations. All right, the floor is now open for the nominations for the office of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Hall.
I'd second it.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for the secretary? Okay. So election of board secretary, resolution number 4.
All motion.
I'll second.
Yash, Hadwan, second. Resolve that trustee Hall is elected to the office of secretary for the Board of Education for 2024. Roll call:
Aye.
Salah Hadwan, Dejavan Hall,
Aye.
Murtada Abeid, okay, Jihan Ayash,
Aye.
and Abdel Malik Al Jahim.
Aye. Congratulations.
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 I think. All right, the officers elected for the year of 2024 are as follows. President, Jihan Ayash, Vice President, Salah Hadwan, Treasurer, Abdel Malik Al Jahim, and Secretary Dejavan Hall. Congratulations to the officers, and now the Board President, Jihan Ayash, will chair the rest of the board meeting.
All right, we're getting into setting a meeting dates for 2024. It's, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Eric Hedlund, do I have a second?
Second.
By Gaham, result of the regular meetings for the Hamtramck Board of Ed for the year 2024 will be held the first Wednesdays of each month here at this building at 6 p.m. The regular meeting for the month of January 2024 will be rescheduled for January 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Do we have discussion? I was gonna ask, are we opposed to moving the time up, or is 6 o'clock still a good time?
January 18th is Thursday.
Yeah.
Does that date work for everybody?
Yep, I told everyone, does it still work?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes. Thank you.
So does 6 p.m. still work, or do you wanna move it up to 5 or 5:30?
6 is good. I think 6 is good.
6 is good, okay. Any other discussion?
No.
All right, not roll call. How do y'all, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 absent. The authorization of bank depositories and signatures, resolution, thank you, Eric Hedwin, do I have a second?
Second.
El Gaham, resolve that the following accounts will be set for the following purposes. It'll be Articles 1 through 18. The only things that are new this year are the bank accounts for the investment funds that the CFO does. So that's why there's additional accounts. But do we have any discussion?
No.
And it looks like all of the schools are listed on here. I don't think we missed anything. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 7, designation of person responsible to post public notices of board meetings. Do I have a motion? All right, Hedwin, do I have a second? I'll second. Oh, sorry. Did Hall say she'll second?
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Hedwin, second by Hall. Resolve that the admin assistant to super schools Board of Education is responsible to ensure all regular and special board meeting notices be appropriately posted in a timely manner. Do we have discussion? In case people forget, that is our lovely Joanne McBride.
I do have discussion.
Yes.
Just so like maybe we can, try to resolve some of the like little issues from last year. Can we have copies of, for all the boards, just a summary of the rules and regulations for posting special board meetings? Because sometimes I feel like it's not understood by everybody.
Yeah.
So if we can have Joanne send us the rules, so
Do you want them
everybody's
printed or emailed?
email would be,
Joanne, can you just pull up all the policies on postings for special meetings and send them to us?
so that we can all have some to review for this
Okay,
new year.
got it. Yeah, that's fine. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 absent. Now designation for the board advocacy liaison. I think we do nominations first. Does anyone want to nominate themselves for the role?
Can you,
I do what I always do. Mr. Hedwin? I'd like to nominate you for the advocacy liaison. Would you like to accept? And then I think we're gonna tweak the resolution to add a backup, so.
fine.
Okay, and then I would also like to nominate then Mr. Al-Gahim as the backup. We're switching the roles this year. Do you accept?
I think so.
All right, lovely. Designation of board advocacy liaisons, nominations for advocacy liaison are Hedwin and Al-Gahim, and they both accepted. So resolution number 8, election of advocacy liaisons. Do we have a motion? Hedwin, do I have a second?
A second.
Hall, resolve that Salah Hedwin will be named the advocacy liaison for the Hamtramck Board of Education, and Abdel Malik Al-Gahim will be named as the backup advocate liaison for the Hamtramck Board of Education. Do we have any discussion? Are we okay with the amendment?
Yeah, can we just make sure that that is added in there, that
Yeah.
language?
Hall and McBride, you guys both got that, right? Yep, okay. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 absent. We got a correspondence from Wayne Lisa. It was just to acknowledge Board of Education Recognition Month, which is in January. So we all got it in advance. We had a chance to read it. So thank you, Wayne Lisa, for acknowledging Board of Education Month. And we're gonna move right into now our consent agenda to resolution number 9. Do we have a motion? I heard Hedwin, do I have a second? Okay, resolve that, Hedwin and Hall, resolve on the recommendation of the super. The Board of Education approves the following under our consent, which is our past 2 meeting minutes. Hires, resignations, and retires. All in favor?
I have
Oh, sorry, do you wanna move something off of it?
No, not move, just comment.
Okay. Yeah.
Want me to do it now?
Yeah.
I would love to, our administration to do a exit survey and to see why we have a lot of people resigning. And to solve this issue, to prevent from having staff or employees leaving our district because it's hurting our district.
Okay, and we'll discuss it during the end, if we want to
Can I
collect comments, yes, and we'll discuss them after.
I mean, I just wanted to say, you know, we got a lot of new hires on here, so good job on the admin team for bringing in some new, fresh, you know, hopefully excited to, you know, join the team and get the ball rolling. And with the whole, you know, exit interviews, something that's been requested, you know, while you were gone multiple times, just so you're aware. And there was supposedly an email that was set up for board members to be able to access and see these, which never really happened. So this is something that's been asked for 2-3 years now. So it's not nothing new, just so you're aware.
Okay. Again, we'll discuss it further down the line.
I'll speak.
You know what, y'all?
Now, I wanted to say, now I wanted to say congratulations on new hires and thank you everybody who has been here and who did resign. And I hope you well on your new journey.
I was gonna say the same for the retirements. Thank you to
Yes,
everyone that
please.
retired. Thank you as well. Anyone else before we vote? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried, 5 ayes, 2 absent. Again, thank you to everyone that retired from the district. We appreciate all the work you do at HPS. All right, resolution number 10, approval of field trip. Oh, I heard head one. Do I have a second? I'll second. Motion by head one, seconded by Ayash. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the request of Victoria Kelly to take Cal Beta 8th graders to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, June 7th, 2024. There will be approximately 30 students and 6 chaperones attending. I think all the information was uploaded in the OneDrive. Do we have any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried, 5 ayes, 2 absent. Have fun, 8th graders. Resolution number 11, appointments of legal counsel. Do I have a motion? I heard head one. Do I have a second?
Second.
El Gahay. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby appoint Thrun Law Firm to represent the district in lawsuit captioned IE et al. Versus Hamtramck Public Schools and to approve the retainer climate agreement as presented. Do we have discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
I need more information on this, please.
So Joanne sent us the email. Is Jim in the room today?
Yes.
Hi, Jim, come on up. 1 second.
How far are you want to go?
Just right there is fine.
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Specific questions or
Well-
just general?
I
Okay.
mean, why would we need to add, does our insurance take care of our lawsuits, lawyers, or?
That was exactly what I was gonna start with. So Great American is our, provides the coverage, and they contract with certain law firms. We had 3 law firms to choose from, because this is a class action lawsuit with 2 other, parties. Somebody already accepted one, and then, we met with, Clark Hill and Troon, and, so the insurance company will cover up to $200 per hour. Troon accepted that amount, and Clark Hill did not. It would have been $600 an hour.
And the other thing, aside.
Sorry, okay, can I get clarity? So for the rate that the insurance company offered,
Yes.
True, that's the whole cost? The $200 an hour is what they're, like, it's nothing's coming out of general funds or district funds for it?
Well, no, we actually, so we have a $250,000 deductible. So we have to go up to the 250 before the insurance company will start covering. But if we accepted, an amount over $200 per hour, we would pay that amount over, plus the 250.
Go ahead.
We do have to Ms. Ahmed, did we change our insurance policy? Because I remember our policy was 25,000 deductible.
They changed it.
So why is it an increase of 25 thousand to 250,000.
That can be discussed in the closed session.
Okay. And
But
also,
again, to answer your question, based on the competitive rates, we're going with this law firm because it is offering the most economic for the needs that we have.
my question is that we are paying a lot of money for insurance, and then we're still paying the difference of the rate of that. So the insurance is still not covering the
Yeah.
full amount of.
Yeah, I shared the reasoning behind all of this in the weekly board reports. I provided other additional information that the CFO, Jim, provided as well. I think any further discussion, I'd feel more comfortable to have it in closed session.
Please, and I would request if you can share with us the new policy so we can.
Absolutely. I believe
And
I
then the
did,
old
but
policy.
I can resend that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions on this?
No, I got my question.
Okay, and the other question is, typically the insurance company just hires a law firm and then we work with them. Is there a reason why we're having to go to the board to vote on this one?
Because we are paying them directly up to the $250,000.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
contracting with us.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think of that. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, and some confusion, I'll go roll call. How do you vote, Alvin?
Did we get a motion?
We did. From the council. Yeah. Hall, who motioned, who seconded?
I motion.
With Salah and then.
I'd like to-
Sorry, it was Hedlund and El Gahain. Result of, huh?
I thought that was for the field trip.
You saw for the field trip? No, who was for the?
No, the field trip was me and Ayash.
Yeah.
And then Salah and
Gahain, yeah, that's because that's what we've been discussing, we motioned that. So motion by Hedlund, seconded by El Gahain. This makes sense, it has to go before us, because we'd be paying, actually,
Right.
Jim, one more question.
I'm
What
sorry.
would have been the alternates to going through the insurance company?
I'm sorry?
What would have been our alternates if we didn't go through our insurer?
If we didn't go with the insurance company that we're with,
Yeah,
well, we are in a consortium. So that's the insurance firm that the consortium picked.
and that's how many school districts?
There's 32
Okay.
with Mazel.
Got it. Okay, I got clarity.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'll do roll call. How do you vote? Obeyed. El Gahain.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
it's not I don't wanna say abstain.
You can't abstain. Do you want to table and come back after we talk to closed session?
Yes, please.
We'll do that, okay. So resolution number 11 will be tabled until we come back from closed session. Resolution number 12, which is now, no, it's still 12. Okay, resolution number 12, approval of employment. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
All right, Hedlund, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Al Gahain, resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the employment of Judy Mills as Special Ed Compliance Manager for HPS. Annual salary of $90,000 prorated, start date effective December 4th, 2023. Do we have any discussion?
We've been had this position.
I think we approved of it with someone else and they quit after how many?
No,
This is,
no, she never quit. This is a position that I brought to the board, I believe, during the October COW meeting, and we hired Kimberly Collins for that position. We had 2 individuals for this position.
this is the second person?
This is the second person for, yes.
Okay. Any other discussion?
So we have 2 people.
We have 2 administrators, and again, this was all shared in the weekly reports. Due to the huge liability and the issues and the concerns that we have with the Special Service Department and all of the things that transpired in 2021, 2022, and 2022 to 2023 school year, the idea behind this is to ensure that the Special Service Director is not alone, has more supports to look into all of the issues that we have. The complaints, so Judy Mills is focusing on the day-to-day supports in the schools, while Kimberly Collins is focusing on the catamaran and all the complaints that we have in the system. We had about 38, so since she has been on board, it has significantly been reduced. So both are critically needed, and the goal is to expand and strengthen the administration team for the Special Service Department to A, make sure we are in compliance at all times, and B, make sure that we have continued sustainable measures to address all the issues and make sure we are addressing the supports for our students following the federal and state guidelines.
Is this, had to go through the board to pass this second person, or does it need to
The position, as shared in October, was clear, that we needed 2 individuals for this
so
position.
it was discussed and voted for it, or just?
I'm not sure if it had a resolution, but it was brought to the board's attention, and then we hired Kimberly Collins for the first position, and this is the second person.
Hang on, wait, the regular meeting minutes are for October.
I know I was missing for,
No, I know. So it was a resolution, it was in October, there was a standalone resolution for Kimberly Collins. And the motion carried with the 4 members present and 2 that were absent, 5 members present and the 2 that were absent were you and Watson.
I don't have no problem with the first one, but to
Yeah,
add
but
to
you-
the second one is it a resolution there and you guys have
No,
approved
so,
it?
so she had initially hired Kimberly Collins solo. So
Okay.
there was 1 person that she hired. She said that she needed 2. So she hired now, Judy Mills. So these are special education roles that are central office, right?
Mm.
So they're 2 central office roles for special education.
My question was, does the board have to approve the second person or the administration? She has the authorization.
Oh, I
to-
see what you're
Asking,
saying.
is this a new role that the board has to report? Is this a new
Oh,
role?
no, you're not approving the role, you're approving the hire, the recommendation
Okay,
to
thank you.
hire this individual.
Right,
Right,
and so
thank
the
you.
reason why it wasn't in the consent, Mr. Obaid, is because it's a admin position. We
Mhm.
typically vote on admins individually. That's all. Any other discussion? All right, roll call. How do you vote? Obaid?
Nay.
Al-Gaheem?
Aye.
Hadwan?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And aye. Resolution passes 4 ayes, 1 nay, 2 absent. Mr. Obaid, would you like to comment on your name?
No, thank you.
Resolution number 13. Now, do I have a motion? No.
Motion.
I heard Hadwan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Al-Gaheem, so resolution approval of a truancy specialist position, motion by Head One, second by Al-Gaheem. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the position of truancy specialist, annual salary between 60 and 70,000 based on experience. So this is, remember how we discussed, we didn't like that we would get a name, like the resolution before us, before hearing about the role and what it did and blah, blah, blah. So I had consistently followed this process now in 2024, where if a new position is going to be created, before it's posted, before we interview, before anything, the board will sit down and discuss the actual need for the role. Then if the board approves the role, it goes through the standard hiring practice and we get it on our consent.
Okay, real quick.
Now discussion, yes. For discussion.
We've had a truancy specialist before, so is this a new role again?
It's probably been vacant long enough that it needs to come before us.
Okay, is that what the policy states? or-
We don't, I don't know what the policy states right now on creating the roles, but we
No,
had.
I'm saying this has been a role that's been here.
Right, but I'm gonna bring up something without bringing up the name. We had a position that existed, and the board voted against the hire of a person, and it caused quite a bit of chaos for the district. So everyone here knows exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm protecting a person's right to privacy. If a position is gonna come up after a while,
Right, then we just gotta make sure that it's updated in our bylaws, is all I'm saying.
we can discuss, yeah, we're gonna have bylaw read soon, but it would just make sense for our clarity, because then if she interviews for it, and we didn't know there was a truancy specialist for years, then it comes before the board, and then there's someone who's potentially getting hired that's gonna be annoyed or frustrated. Do you see what I'm saying? This just eliminates confusion for us before the hiring even starts.
Right, we talked about it for a while last year.
Yes.
So, okay.
But for the truancy specialist, I have a question. How bad is our attendance rates that we would need a truancy specialist?
Terrible.
Yeah, district-wide, 47% are truant, and I can have the director of pupil service share more reasons why we need this position. So,
Bring it on.
Amra Pluskovic.
So basically, the.
Closer.
Spotlight.
Can y'all give her the shaky mic?
We need to really update these mics.
I know.
It's been like 3 years of asking.
Right, so
add that?
basically, the truancy specialist will be in support
monitoring closely students that are very truant. Reviewing our data from 2016 to this year, we have about 46 students that are chronically absent. So we wanna make sure that in order for us to improve our academics, we gotta make sure that our students are in school and providing all the resources for the students. They will work closely with our school and community facilitators, our principals, secretaries, and all the stakeholders and the parents, of course, to make sure if there's a need, why the student is not coming, if they have transportation issues, so we can address everything before the student starts failing, and even our district grades are improved. Yes.
So with this position, will this be something that our truancy specialists will also be collaborating with like law enforcement
Yes.
to that extent?
So,
Okay.
If need be.
yeah, so basically they will go to court if needed. If we are gonna be doing, we can prosecute after 18 days if they're absent. They will do court meetings. They will also, when we do wellness checks, they'll go with the police department to do wellness checks while the student is not in school. Like missing students, like if the student just doesn't show and we don't know where they went, they will be taking care of all of that for us.
And how will parents be, properly educated and prepared for a truancy specialist coming into the district? So how will all the laws and legalities be explained to all these parents
Yeah, so
prior
we can,
to hiring a truancy specialist?
we
And
can
can we get
have,
input from all?
yeah, usually we are very, even now our school and community facilitators do home visits. We're here basically to support the family. We're not here to punish the student for, not coming to school. We wanna support them and make them be successful and succeed in our district. So I think just having, parent meetings, educating our parents of what their responsibility is. Also, one of the, main things, the truancy specialist will do is attendance contracts. So this way, the parent and the student, when we bring them in for a meeting, they'll understand what's the expectation of the student, what's the expectation of the parent. And this is one of the ways that we can, let them know, what needs to be done.
Well, I'm just saying, if we surveyed Hamtramck Public School students, parents, right now, realistically, and ask them, what is our attendance policy, how many will be educated enough to answer that correctly? Why, but I'm asking this because I have people who I graduated with that have kids, and I've asked them,
Yeah.
what's the attendance policy, and they're like, I don't know.
Well, that's the work that we have to do to
Yeah,
make sure
That's
that
what I'm saying,
They
is to make
are
sure all this
aware
is
Yeah.
done
of
prior
our
to anything,
expectations, why attendance is important.
Right, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that all needs to be
absolutely.
done prior to
Absolutely.
implementing a truancy specialist, and then having all these families' lives in shambles, cause they were not prepared, and their kids are missing 18 days, now you have a truancy officer, you know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
that's what it's called.
Well,
No, I'm gonna follow up on something that Mr. Headland says. So, when we discuss our district and the unique needs of our kids, we have to acknowledge there are systemic imbalances and oppressions to our students, specifically our black and brown students. And whoever we hire, if they do not have the cultural capacity or any type of equity work in mind, changing the word from specialist to officer does not change the fact that they have certain rights to cooperate with law enforcement and penalize our students for, let's be honest, it's out of their hands sometimes. You can't control if you can't get picked up, or if you're stuck at work, or if you're sick, or et cetera, et cetera. There's multiple reasons why our students are absent. And there have been studies that have shown that hiring a truancy, I'll say the word specialist, hiring a truancy specialist is not effective, especially in communities with lower socioeconomic status. So I am resistant to the idea of hiring this person prior to put a Band-Aid on an issue that could be addressed at the admin level between all the central office staff we have. That's where I'm feeling with this. Hiring someone into a district that is currently a little chaotic, that's the polite way to put it, is not going to be responsible. And if this person feels that they're being cornered to do their job to track down these students, and they go straight to throwing the books at our kids, how would that look?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, to
I'm
build
saying,
trust.
don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, I'm not against the truancy specialist, I feel like it's needed in every school, to be honest. But the approach in our community has to be different, to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing and what this is gonna consist of. also giving them, letting them know their rights and responsibilities as parents when it comes to this.
Right,
I just need it to be before pilot and kicking it off,
I agree.
enough, educational opportunities provided and questions answered for the community members, letters sent on multiple occasions, not just once, class dojo, everything. Just keep pushing this to inform parents, so when questions are brought up, we can address them early and not later on.
Right, I think the position in itself is a position, and granted what President Ayash said, whether we say officer, specialist, it is all at the end of the day based on the implementation. And when it comes to us, we are not looking at penalizing or punishing our students or their families. The goal is to understand the root causes. Once we understand the root causes, we address them accordingly. If it's a transportation issue and a student cannot get to one building, but we have openings in another building that might be closer, then that may be a way for us to address it. We're very, very accommodating, very, very supportive, and we want to empower both our parents and our students. In many of the cases, just with our parent engagement team, they have addressed and were successful in addressing and acknowledging and supporting both our parents and our students to make sure that, again, we're addressing the issues and not, setting the students even further behind. That's not our goal. It's never been our goal. Again, with the wraparound support, with the wraparound services, our partners in the community, we have been providing a lot of support systems to empower both our students and our parents. This person would just be a designated person to ensure that we're collecting the data, we're addressing the attendance before it gets to number 18 days. And if we need parent education, that person would be taxed with that.
But the issue still is for me that some of these tasks sounds like they were being held under Amra's team, and the title of the person, a parent engagement specialist, has a different purpose. They're here to try to make sure parents are involved in their students' lives. When you say truancy specialist or truancy officer, you are honing, it's the position, regardless of what the goal is, because our district also has goals to not penalize students, but we've had things come to our table. We've had multiple expulsions despite what is set to be a goal. What I'm saying is the intent, regardless of what it is not greater than the impact, which is we are bringing someone to police our students' attendance. That's what this specific role is for in any district. If a parent hears truancy specialist or truancy officer, they know what that is. They're not going to be willing to speak to you if they think you're going to take away their kids. Or, take away their kids, find them, whatever the thing is. For me, if we can get this work done and have this person hold a more broader role, right, like the wraparound services, I would be fine with it. But as it stands with, again, the current functioning of our district, it does not make sense to me to hire someone for something so specific when we can't even answer questions that are basic about a process for parents. That's all.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do think this needs to be a, dedicated position. Because I know for a fact that truancy specialists or officers have, research shown is increased, attendance rates and students coming to school. My only objection to it is, like I said, educating the community, giving them ample time to answer all questions, and just letting them know what the consequences are as a parent. These things need to all be taught and put out there all over social media, and just so that everybody's aware, and when this starts, it's not something that's coming out of nowhere, or just coming out with a 1 month notice. That's all I have to say.
That's fair.
Any other questions for subcommittee or discussion?
I see a lot of employment accepted and new roles, being brought up without an HR, in place. What is our hiring process?
That's a long question. Ms. Ahmed?
So at this point, as I had shared in the weekly reports, we have the board, we have the executive director has been on administrative leave since October of 2022. That position has not been filled. We had an interim HR director who took this position on around the spring and notified me in August that he would be, resigning from the position shortly. I talked him into hanging on for a couple of months because of the high needs and lawsuits and just everything that was going on. So he stayed on with a flexible schedule until November. I've been tackling the HR department since, and basically when it comes to the hiring processes, we still continue to post positions that we need to fill because we still, the daily operations have to continue. Once they're posted, the principals, directors have access to that information, and they would look to see who is the most qualified candidate. They would interview them and then share the recommendations.
Any other discussion?
No.
All right, how do you vote? Obey?
Nay.
Headline? I can come back to
Could
you.
we, make an amendment?
What's your amendment?
Truancy specialist, based on experience, but then adding something to the extent of with ample, community education. And,
Okay, let's see. Resolve, well, I think based on experience covers that language.
that's talking about the person coming to do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying I wanted to be in there that the job is contingent on the community being educated prior.
We can add that, but I don't know if that's part of the hiring process. Okay. Sorry, we're gonna motion by, who was motion by again?
Me.
And seconded? Okay, resolution 13, approval of truancy specialist position, motion by Head 1, seconded by Algaheim. Resolved, the Board of Education does hereby approve the position of truancy specialist, annual salary 60 to 70,000 based on experience, comma, and
To be filled
to be filled
after sufficient
no, you're fine, take your time.
sufficient community education is provided on truancy specialist duty.
Let me read that for you.
Huh?
Let me read it.
I'm not gonna be able to read it.
I will, I can. It'll be fierce to go on
That's
there.
what I figured.
All right, so we're adding an
So
amendment.
that way we're not keeping
Yeah,
the position from being open, but we're stipulating it needs to have that done.
Based on experience, to be fulfilled after sufficient community education is provided on the truancy specialist duties. So that's the additional language, and I'll start over again. How do you vote, Mr. Obey?
So nay.
Head 1,
Aye.
Geheim.
Nay.
Hall.
Aye.
And I ash nay, resolution fails. 3 nays, 2 ayes, 2 absent. Does anyone that left a nay want to leave a comment?
I think there still needs to be a lot of education,
I agree.
brought up first before we put a role out there.
Same
That's why I
comment.
said-
Yeah,
That's why I added the whole
Yeah.
education part.
but to me, it still makes me worried because if the hiring process started and they didn't get that enough.
It hasn't started.
That's
They're
what I'm
opening-
saying,
They're
but-
approving the position, that's what I'm
I
saying.
know, but for me,
The hire-
I think the priority is what you said, education first, and then we start the hiring. I don't want it to couple the two. That's where I was uncomfortable with it.
Alright.
I respect what you said. So far, my comment would be the same thing.
Same
Truancy
thing here.
education is a priority over the hiring of this person.
Okay.
All right, resolution 14, approval of VLI specialist. Do I have a motion? I have one. Do I have a second? I'll second. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the position of VLI specialist. Annual salary 65 to 70,000 based on experience. Do we have discussion? So the last time that the VLI team came to do a presentation for the board, they discussed I didn't have someone leading it. At the time, someone was doing double duty, and I think still is doing double duty. Is this person going to take over the leading of this?
So, it was Vicky Smith that was basically working on that. She's no longer, since, that board meeting, she's no longer fulfilling any duties in this position. As you know, we had Dr. Abed, and he was an administrator. I believe his salary ranged about $120,000. Clearly, we could not continue with having a director in that capacity with the very small number of students that we currently have. So this is a way to continue to address the needs, provide supports for the VLI so it could continue and hopefully it could continue to grow without getting a director in that capacity. And I have the curriculum director, executive student achievement executive director is here, Heather. If you could come up here in case the board has further questions that you could address.
So, in the VLI department org chart, where does this position fall?
Just to be honest, I'm slightly hard of hearing. I have a very
Oh,
difficult time
sure,
hearing you.
no, you're fine. I said, on the VLI's programs org chart, where would this position fall?
In between myself, people services, and the team members themselves, it's kind of like an intermediary to make sure their needs are met in a timely fashion.
Sorry, repeat that.
Repeat it? It's an intermediary between myself, pupil services, since they're in charge of the two-way communication, making sure the FTEs are counted, and the team themselves, the five-member team that we have, and communicate with principals about students, communicate with special services to make sure those needs are met. And there was one more piece that I can't remember.
Do they have a list of, like, if you were to post for it, is there a specific list of duties that this person would have?
Yes.
Do we have a director for VLF?
No, we eliminated that position because clearly we could not continue to have a director with that large salary and small number of students.
Do you have that number, how many students we have in VLF?
55.
55.
Any other questions or discussion? Nope, all right. How do you vote, Obey?
Nay.
Hedwam? Gahane?
Aye.
Hall? And aye. Resolution passes 4 ayes, 1 nay, 2 absent. Would you like to comment?
No.
All right. Resolution 15, approval of a library aide position. Do I have a motion? I heard head 1. Do I have a second?
Second.
Gahane, resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the position of a library aide at Taubata schools at $15.60 per hour, max 25 hours per week. Do we have any discussion?
They got their library?
I think that's wonderful.
They got their library, right?
Yeah, they did, and they got the books,
Yeah,
right?
they
That's
And-
good.
Yeah.
Yay, that's lovely. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, how do you vote, Obey?
Aye.
Head 1? Gahane?
Aye.
Hall?
Aye.
And aye, resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent.
Can you
Resolution.
tell me who was motion and second?
Oh, I'm sorry. Head 1 and Gahane, right?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, resolution 16, approval of multilingual counselor position. Do I have a motion? Head 1, do I have a second?
Second.
Gahane, result of the Board of Ed does hereby approve the position of a multilingual counselor at a Hamtramck High School, terms of employment for the HFT contract. So do you have discussion?
What is that?
So this is a new position, and basically, we currently have 2 counselors at the high school that are addressing the needs of about 1,000 students. So you could imagine the work that's involved. When it comes to our multilingual learners or English learners, as past were referenced, the English learners, multilingual learners need a specific way in order for them to be placed in certain classes. So it requires more time to understand their schedules, understand their proficiency scores, whether through the screener or the annual assessment and other assessments, to make sure that they're being placed accordingly and to follow up with them. So this would provide extra support when it comes to the multilingual learners. And it would also alleviate the counselors from having such a huge caseload. So that's basically the position. Our interim multilingual director is here, and she could speak if you have more questions on this. Mr. Edler?
This position is gonna be filled by Overton, I assume?
Yes, we
Okay.
are, yes. That's one of the criteria, is that they should have an ESL background, so that they would specifically understand what are the needs of the multilingual learners, so that they would be able to address them accordingly.
So what languages will this multi-language counselor be required to?
The language is not necessary. It's great if they speak another language. It's always an added bonus, but it's not a requirement. but their ESL endorsement is a requirement, because they would be focusing on the 250 students. And by taking that caseload from the 2 current counselors, it would help the other counselors address the needs of the rest of our students when it comes to scheduling and everything else.
All right. Any other discussion or questions? How do you vote, Olgahen?
Aye.
Obey?
Aye.
Hedwig?
Aye.
Hall?
Aye.
And aye, resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution 17, approval of a computer purchase. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Hedwig, do I have a second? I'll second. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the purchase of 31 Dell computers along with 31 Dell computer monitors from CTE CAD Lab from Intercom. Total purchase not to exceed $55,800. Purchase funded through the CTE Perkins grant. The only discussion I have is it was explained to me that this grant is expiring soon, and this was a purchase that was relevant to that course. Did I miss anything about that?
I think you've got that.
And it's at the HHS, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it is grant funded. The computers qualified through the grant, and the grant is expiring. That's all the context I have. Any discussion? Where would they go? Do we know where in the building those computers would go?
CAD.
That's on the 3rd floor?
I think the
So
first
Hamtramck
floor.
High
School,
Yeah, which floor?
Room 120.
On the 1st floor, okay, yeah.
Yep.
That's all I have. Any other discussion? All right, how do you go, Obaid?
Aye.
I'm sorry, Hedwig?
Aye.
Gahay?
Aye.
Paul? Aye, resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. And now we're gonna get into audience participation. Joanne, do you have any more? All right, so first up is Brooke Jones. Brooke Jones, come on up. Before you start, Brooke, this portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions or comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and questions advised and not respond at this time. The presiding officer will refer questions to the super for research and response. Persons wishing to address the board must complete on participation form before the meeting starts, and forms must be filled out completely to be accepted. So Brooke, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. Hi, good evening. My name is Brooke Jones. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Dickinson East. So I want to talk about resolution number 9, the consent agenda. It is 4 pages of hires and resignations. There's 25 hires. That's great. There's 13 resignations, and there's 3 retirements. But it's not apples and apples. It's apples and oranges. It's parapros, a couple high school teachers. The resignations has a lot of teachers, like a lot. And I want to take note of 4 teachers because it really affects the school I'm at, Dickinson East. We lost a 6th grade teacher. Her room has had a sub since November. Is that good for students? Probably not. And believe me, these subs are working their behind off. Okay, a 2nd grade teacher, Jennifer Maloney. She worked in the district for 23 years. She was a 1.5 years away from retirement, and she left the district. Her room is now closed. Those students went to 3 other 2nd grade classrooms. Shelley Scott, a 21-year veteran of Hamtramck Public Schools. She has had a sub in her room since December 1st. Another teacher, Jamie, has only been with us in Hamtramck for a few years, quite a handful of years, but was a seasoned veteran teacher before. Her room is now closed. So those students are going into 3 other 3rd grade classrooms, one of which has a sub. So that affects a lot of students. That's 4 classrooms of students that are being affected. That is hard. And I will tell you, these teachers that are on this resignation list, they have not left the profession. They left to go to other districts. So it's just very disheartening. I also wanted to point out something. Letter O was a resource room teacher that was hired for our building, Dickinson
30
East,
seconds.
on November 13th. 00, she resigned effective this week. So people leave cultures, not companies. And I swear we took a climate and culture survey in the spring. Whatever happened to that data? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up,
Any? If the president, you.
sir, what did you say, Mr. Ray?
She wants to answer the question for her.
I can answer the
No,
question
we don't-
about the
we don't
climate.
allow. That's not-
Tony, you're coming on up though as the next.
I know,
Well,
well,
no,
I'm not
we don't allow.
addressing that. Do you want me to answer the question about the climate and culture and then do my comment?
No, it's fine, come on up and do your comment.
Okay, and then I can answer the
Oh,
question
we
if you
don't
want,
allow.
if Mr. Obey wants to answer.
All right.
Because I know what happened there.
Whenever you're ready.
Good evening. My name is Tony Coral, President of Hamtramck Federation of Teachers. At the October 25th COW meeting, a representative from the Michigan Association of School Boards, MASB, trained the board on how to use its superintendent evaluation tool, which is readily available on the MASB website right here. The MASB representative spent an hour explaining the different aspects of the evaluation process. Per the MASB representative and page 8 of this evaluation tool, teacher feedback is a required component of the evaluation process. The board agenda for the December 10th regular meeting included a closed session during which the board was going to conduct the superintendent's evaluation. Sadly, after a 45-minute delay, the meeting was canceled because a fourth school board member was stuck in traffic, leaving the board without a quorum. Regardless, the board must have collected all of the required data and information it needed to complete that evaluation, which it would have done if traffic hadn't been so bad, right? Oddly enough, none of the teachers I've asked were approached for feedback, not one. So when did the board send out some sort of feedback survey to teachers? How many teachers were asked for feedback? Of those teachers invited to provide feedback, how many responded? To be honest, I wonder if the board had any intention of completing the superintendent's evaluation at the December 10th meeting. Moreover, I wonder if the story about somebody being stuck in traffic was a piece of fiction created to cover up for the fact that the board knew in advance that it would not have a quorum on December 10th. You know what, now that I think about it, I don't wonder at all. I'm quite certain that the board was not going to meet on December 10th. While I'm disappointed, I'm not surprised.
Thank you. All right. Next up is additional board discussion. I have some too, and oddly enough, I'd like to start off actually, if that's okay. So, was brought up in public comment. Regan Watson has been completely ineffective since she completely checked out. She does not respond to calls or texts or emails from me, from the super's office, from the super secretary. I know she's around, I know she exists, because I will see her on my way home from a long day. She bartends at a certain bar and I see her outside smoking, right? So I don't know what's going on with her. She has literally not been responsive to any form of communication to see if she is still committed to her role or not. People have taken long absences this year, but my two colleagues to my left have informed me that when they were leaving and when they were coming back. And I have genuinely heard nothing from her. And in the years prior to that, when I was absent, I also informed my board president where I was. I hate to have to call her out in a public meeting, but if someone has access to Regan Watson and knows if she intends on continuing her role, she has multiple years left on her term, and she has literally been unresponsive. Not a single response in many attempts for many months to see if she's sticking around, if she's coming to meetings, if she doesn't want to come. If she wants to quit, all she has to do is email me that she can no longer fulfill the terms of her role. It happened. It has happened on this board. Sometimes you take a role, it's 6 years. It's a very long term, and you cannot do it anymore. But you owe the people that voted you in the courtesy of letting them know what on earth is going on. Because again, she looks fine when I see her. She is just not responding to anything, and I'm genuinely confused as to why we cannot get a response from one of our board colleagues who has, again, many years left on her term and cannot give us a courtesy to let us know why she's being negligent in her role. So if anyone has a hold of her, because I've asked, no one else has been able to get a text from this boardroom either. I don't know what's going on. Text, call, email, nothing. I cannot get a hold of this woman, and it's affecting being able to host meetings because, like I said, sometimes board members are absent. but she has consistently been absent without an explanation, without responding. I'm not sure if she's checking her board reports, I'm not sure if she's checking agendas. So now we have a person who's effectively soft quit and has access to all this information and could be a vital decision maker for Hamtramck Public Schools and is choosing not to respect that role. So, take it away, Henry.
I just wanted to say, Happy New Year's to everybody.
Happy
and,
New Year, and we still have Herman stuff, but go ahead. I'm serious, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. We have had valid concerns about people saying, where have board members been? I will tell you right now, they have told me, even Ferris has told me, again, whether or not Ferris's excuse was believed from the last meeting is irrelevant here. What I'm saying is, everyone takes the time to let the chair know whether or not they will be attending. You can cut me off, that's fine, but I'm saying, everyone else, literally, all other 5 of you, have taken the opportunity to say, hey, I just can't make it, or I'm gonna be gone, or whatever the reason is. At least I have a heads up on it. I haven't had a heads up from her.
I know.
Go ahead. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, like I was saying, Happy New Year's,
Happy
you
New
know,
Year.
welcome back, everybody, you know, I know like students in the community were super excited to get back. I just wanted to bring up and make you guys aware of something that I found out recently. So apparently at Hamtramck High School, they are starting, or they have started, and I don't know when this was implemented or why this is a thing, where they're allowing students to use their cell phones to call their parents to excuse them from school, and that's being acceptable.
Say it
So,
again? I don't
so
get it.
you're allowed to use your cell phone to call your dad, which could be anybody on the other line, and as long as they say, yeah, let them go, they're letting them go. That's number one. So we need to look into this,
Sir, I was
because
looking
unless
for-
your parent is not at the building picking you up, a phone call shouldn't be the reason to excuse any student.
So someone's going to the main office,
Yes,
and they're having someone.
apparently the principal or who is allowing this, and so could we look into this? This is
Okay.
something that's serious and needs to be addressed right away.
Sorry, my question is, has it affected safety of our students?
I don't know if it has affected anyone directly, but this can become something serious. When you have kids,
It's not
just,
our protocol when it comes to.
correct, and,
Early release or what have you.
And
The
yeah, and
student
if-
is leaving earlier, is that what you're saying?
no, a student is coming into the office saying that they have to leave, would call somebody on their cell phone
Yeah, so
and is
they're-
being
I
allowed
see.
to leave
Okay.
at whatever time.
Without verification.
Right, and then is there a new policy where after 10, they're just telling them to go back home? Because that's also being done there. 10 or 11. you know,
Telling who?
telling the students that they're not gonna be allowed to come into the building because it's past
Who
10.
is telling them?
School officials. This is what students have called and told me.
That's one I'm concerned about. Can we get clarity on that?
So these
Both
two
of them.
things need to be addressed right away, please, Ms. Ahmed. And this is another reason that I think a truancy specialist would have been appropriate for another day.
But that's not a truancy issue, that's an admin issue, sir.
Right, but like, that can cause truancy problems.
I will tell you that the team at the high school is a stellar team. And
I'm
I
just
doubt that
passing
this would be
information
happening,
along.
but I appreciate the information and I would definitely look into it.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, we don't, if I don't bring this to their attention this way, I feel like nothing's gonna happen or be addressed, so, you know, we'd like some updates or with the next board
Absolutely.
report on what
Absolutely.
happened and what's going on with this.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, just try to have a productive year, and, as a board, you know, I don't know what my decisions are for, you know, after this year, but hoping this will be a good year to continue with you all and move forward to doing what we need to do for the students of this, and this community, at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, this is our last year together. Inshallah, thank
Anyway,
you. Let me not say last year. This is the last year of my first term and your second or third? Second term. Mashallah, 12 years, wow, okay. And then the other thing is, beyond my genuine concern for my MT chair over there, is every year on MLK Day, the Concerned Women of Hamtramck and Hamtramck Public Schools does host a talent show for MLK Day, and we have board members usually show up to that, so this year it's still gonna happen on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I want to know if anyone was going this year.
I plan to be there.
Awesome, anyone else?
I won't be in Michigan.
Oh, that's okay, I can't actually make it this year, but I want to check in. That's awesome, so 2 for sure?
I already reserved.
Yeah.
Oh, we already reserved 3, okay, perfect, we have 3 board members there this year, that's wonderful, but I think it's too late to do submissions, right? No, December 20th, oh yeah, it's way too late, yep. So it's too
You
late
know,
for,
it's my first time getting that from my kids was this week, and if I would've got it, or earlier.
Try. We-
Ms. Ayash,
I mean, honestly.
Ms. Porter is still accepting
Yeah.
admissions for
Okay,
the
yeah, because I just got this yesterday from my kid, and I was like, oh, we can do something, and I saw the date, I'm like,
Beautiful, okay,
Okay,
then,
great.
so for our board parent, oh my god,
They'd really like it tomorrow, though.
words,
They
hang
need
on.
to put together the names.
Okay, let me organize my words here. So for my board colleagues and public audience, the Concerned Women of Hamtramck, and Hamtramck Public Schools event is still accepting, nominations, not nominations, submissions, thank you. It's still accepting submissions, in the form of art, so essays, poetry, skits, a song, dance, music, etc. It just has to be creative, and ideally until tomorrow. And Ms. Porter is accepting them. Ms. Ahmed, can you make sure to send us out the email of how she's accepting them?
right, who to submit?
Yeah, who to email the submissions to?
They just really want the names right now. An email came out today. They really just want the names.
Mm-hmm.
I know at Horizon, I've told any of the kids who want to do something, they gotta preview it with me, so just, just make sure that, things are acceptable and appropriate, so.
Gotcha, okay. So, yes, so we just need the names of people who plan on submitting something by tomorrow. But the event is Monday, just so everyone knows.
Yes, the name, the grade, and the school and what they will be doing. Depending on what they will be doing, we would like a copy. If they're gonna read a poem, if they're going to sing a song, we need to know what song that they're going
Okay.
to sing. Just to make sure it aligns with what we do.
I'd love to see what your son submits. That'd be so cute. But yeah, so it is happening Monday. They are still accepting the names, name, grade, type of submission by tomorrow. So we have the flyers here. If anyone needs one in the public, I think I can give out our copies, but.
It's been shared
Okay.
with the district on Monday. I could share it again on Friday.
Got it, okay. And that's everything I have. Does anyone else have anything before going to close?
Yes.
Can we take a break before close?
Yeah, we can. What do you have?
Again, regarding resolution 9.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
come back. Mhm.
there is a lot of hiring, but as we match apple to apple, we do see a matching and resignation. So I would love to, Ms. Ahmed, to see, are we filling, is there anybody filling this position who left? And to give us a clarity what's going on and for these staff that left, is the students be covered teaching or any kind of,
Every classroom has to get covered by a substitute for the meantime, if that's.
but we
not-
say, are we?
You guys
saying-
both reminded me, when you started talking about exit surveys, there
There was
is,
two.
there's a Google,
Yes,
form
that-
exit survey, but we all have access to the Excel sheet with the responses, and the most recent response came in on January 8th of this year.
But we don't wanna have 3 months or 4 months have proper,
3 years worth.
Covering
whatever
the
that's
subs-
for.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, but I'm saying-
substitute to cover for 3 months or 4 months. That's not good for our students.
Got it, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I
understand.
meant.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, can we get some type of a report where, it tells us how long it's been, without, a teacher
Teacher.
in place and which building,
Yeah,
you know,
I think that sounds fair. Does somebody
Just
can
to
create
know.
like a table
and
of
for how
like,
long it's been,
Yeah.
without a teacher.
Can you just include that in the board report as a graph?
I was gonna say, yeah,
In
like
a
a table.
Google Doc,
Yeah.
keep it updated by,
So can I
secretary,
just clarify,
your administrative secretary?
can we prioritize teachers on this,
You mean
weekly
the
report?
HR secretary?
Yeah, the HR secretary can keep that updated for us.
Okay.
For my clarity, so we wanna prioritize getting a table in our board reports that shows vacant teacher positions, how long they've been vacant and if they've been filled?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, yeah. Ms. Ahmed, that's,
Yeah,
Yeah, alright.
absolutely.
And number of applicants, as well as one of the columns.
Okay.
for the position.
For the position,
So it's the vacancies per building, how long they've had a sub, if it's been posted for, and if here's how many,
Candidates?
thank you, why can't I use words
Okay.
today? Yeah, can I? I'm just, okay,
Alright,
guys.
thank you.
Anything else?
Are we voting on that resolution that we passed?
Which one? We're going to close, but you wanna take a recess?
No, I'm talking about the health of the resolution.
Oh, we tabled it.
That's
Oh, we have
after-
to close
after
first,
close.
and then we're coming back. Okay, yeah. So let's go into close, and we can take your breaks while we're setting up there. Resolution 19, closed session. Yeah, do I have a motion?
18.
Yeah, what did I say?
19.
Sorry. Resolution 18, closed session, do I have a motion? Head one, do I have a second? open session. I have headline the motion, do I have a second?
One second.
Hall, resolve the Board of Ed does hereby resume meeting in open session. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes, 5 ayes, 2 absent. Meeting went back into open session at 8:32 p.m. We're going back now to resolution number 11. Do I have a motion? Headline, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, hey, resolve the Board of Ed does hereby approve the appointment of Thrun Law Firm to represent the district in the lawsuit caption AI et al. Versus A Hamtramck Public Schools, and to approve the retainer client agreement as presented. Do we have any additional discussion? All right, roll call vote. How do you vote, Headline? Geheim?
Aye.
Obey?
Aye.
Hall?
Aye.
Aye, resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 20. Here we are, good God. All right, is that the closing one?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned, do I have a motion? Headline, do I have a second? I'll second. Resolve the Board of Ed does hereby. The regular meeting be adjourned